Right, I'm joined by Marc White after today's 2-0 defeat at home to Oxford City. Marc, disappointing day today?
Yeah, really disappointing. I think you always look at the things, controllables and non-controllables. As a manager, controllables were, gambling on Jason's fitness. We put him through rigorous fitness test, which is why we then decided to go with him today, in the knowledge that Harry's not fully fit either. That gamble didn't pay off. We got unlucky, obviously, with Barry Fuller. So by the time you put, an issue in the first half with Barry and Jason, you're 2 subs down, not ideal. I thought actually those 2 interruptions to the game actually stopped what was quite a fluid flow at the time. Very, very one-sided game up until those interruptions. We then have George Frankham's stitches come out, so before half time. So we had 1 sub left. George was really his stitches were all over his Achilles.
Yeah.
He was really struggling, but we knew we couldn't leave Briggs out there much longer. Then Macca obviously gets accidentally kiboshed by the goalie.
About 30 seconds later.
Literally 30 seconds later. So we're now down to 10 men. Even with 10 men, we sort of dominate possession, but extremely toothless. Balls in the box way too late. Not being attacked by 4s and 5, being attacked by Harry. I was disappointed with Charlie and Josh in terms of their, support play, knowing that Macca couldn't move. So look, as a manager, I put the team on the pitch. And I always stand tall with that. Do you know what I mean? You'll always get these wankers that you lose a game and then they'll go, "Oh, Marc White this," The ones you never ever see when you're winning. Do you know, the ones that just have a shit life and want to speak up and stuff. But bottom line is, what I would say is, you make great decisions. You make decisions you wish you hadn't made, and I made a few today. And the likes of Moore and Gallagher being on the bench today. When you look at the overall situation, you'd be disappointed. I think playing these boys into fitness like I've tried to do has limited us. I've been trying to be smart. I mean, I've done this successfully before. I've been trying to think, right, can we pick up points? Can we get 45 minutes into this player? Ultimately that's not worked. We've had 3 straight defeats now. So I think we can expect to see a much more consolidated Wanderers team. It may have players playing out of position, but there'll be players that are fit and we can rely upon them to get through the game. So, yeah, it was... the performance wasn't good enough. We didn't create anywhere near enough chances, if any. I think it became a sort of like a circus of problems. The game, almost the longer it went on, the more problems there were. And then in the end, frankly speaking, you couldn't see us winning, that's the bottom line, or getting anything out of the game.
No. Does it concern you, obviously, compared to last season, playing at Meadowbank was almost a kind of a strong suit, and obviously away form that was almost abysmal, but is it a concern to you that Dorking have kind of stopped picking up points at home? Yeah,
big time. I think that's where we are. The team's got to be better. I mean, no disrespect to Oxford at all, but let me tell you, both Dorking Wanderers and Oxford City were better teams 2 seasons ago in the league below. But that's what this league does to you. You've got to then find your feet. You've got to then, sometimes you're tempted to change too much, or you lose a few players, or and then I thought both teams today, if I look at that playoff semi and I look at that, it's a way better game of football, much more quality all over the park, much more agility, much more dynamic. We're not where we want to be. We're not there. I think we need to stop bleating on about the amount of boys we've not got. Listen, for New Year's Day, whatever it might be, we're not going to see McShane, Fuller, Frankham. We know the other boys, we are where we are, mate. I think we've just got to be really patient. We've got to put boys out there that we know are going to give 110% and 110% fit. A trial and error sort of, not trial and error, but a trial, a sort of formation today, or individuals in a formation where I thought we'd have enough to beat Oxford. But see, that's me. I'm a fucking man, so I'll take blame.
Yeah.
But equally, the players have got to do better than what they did today. it was at 1-0 down. We didn't look like we had the fight to win those battles in the box. We put enough balls in there to last a lifetime, but the balls in the box were too late. There weren't enough penetration, weren't enough bodies on the line, and the boys have got to do better than that.
Yeah, so obviously if we look back to kind of this time last year at the table, kind of similar position, and it took until February time for the change of style, playing a lot more direct, playing both Jason and Harry Ottaway up front, playing a lot more direct into there to pick up results to get us over the line. Obviously, Pryor's not fit at the moment, but at what point or will you ever kind of change that style to play more, not necessarily more safe, but more to get us into a better winning position to pick up points earlier on?
Yeah, I mean, we'll obviously look at each game and do what we need to do. We are struggling for high players, and I think obviously we've become a lot less effective in the last third than we were last season, mainly down to lack of regular wingers, lack of regular strikers, really. But we'll assess every game at a time. We've got a few boys, Dan Pybus, Gallagher, Moore. There's boys there that make a big difference to us. And I think I'll just be looking to use my experience to consolidate where we are. It is one game, but one game can't turn into 8 or 9 games in this division. I don't know how many points we got last year, but it felt like it went to the wire.
It did, yeah.
And it was quite a few points.
I think we confirmed safety. I think it was that gates and away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but listen. When we took the lead at Rochdale, we was in the playoffs. I know it sounds really bizarre, but I heard some bloke behind go, bloody hell, we're in the playoffs, right? Home to Rochdale in the middle of a great spell.
Yeah.
We'd just come back off those really good away wins on the road, Halifax, Hartlepool, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
A fit team, fitish team, 90% fit. Took the lead against Rochdale, playing really well. We're up in the playoffs. The goal at Oldham that wasn't, Bromley, So we've had all these things go against us. But you know what? There's a common fucking theme in football. When you're licking your wounds and when you're moaning too much, and I've definitely moaned too much, you then start things actually do start going wrong. So I think we just got to probably get on with this. Supporters as well. The supporters are effing incredible, brilliant supporters. I'm so sorry their Boxing Day was ruined, coming down the Meadowbank, giving their all to the local side for what wasn't a good enough performance. But the buck stopped for me. I gambled on players I shouldn't have done. There's also a whole load of bad luck involved in there today. And they've scored, obviously, a goal on the break from our own corner and then the obligatory second breakaway goal. I think bottom line is today weren't going to be our day. And it's almost like the more the game went on, the more problems there were, the more fragmented it got. And we had players hanging on for dear life. Just didn't have enough out there, but also there are some players who've got to take a bit of responsibility. Honestly, sometimes you can lay it across the board.
Yeah. And
Tony Craig has given them a talking to. I'm not a massive advocate for that in the changing room, but equally, if I think it's right, I am. And there is more that boys have to do when you're under pressure and you've got a few thousand fans in and you need to get a goal back and your mate can't walk, he's just like at school, stood up top on his own. Yeah, we need to get around Harry more. We need to support him more. We need to tell him earlier balls in the box, win the first, win the second, and that comes down to boys. But when you're not winning games, sometimes when you go behind in games, people start thinking, right, we're not going to win this, and that's what I saw today. So, listen, we'll have to fight another day. It's a close table.
Yeah.
We've got a busy jam. Our bigger concern, obviously, would be the amount of boys that are injured now. But you know what? We've got a big squad. We're going to play players that are fit and are moving. That is where we are. And we'll see how we get on with that. And we'll just play a team that gives their all. But today was disappointing. And I apologise to the fans, ultimately, because they give this club everything. So that's where we are.
Well, thank you for your time, Mark, and good luck for Oxford City. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah, cheers, mate. See you later.